Okay, so we're going to talk about going outside. And if you've been listening to us for a while, you know that Jeff and I talk a lot about stacking your life. So this idea of getting multiple of the benefits by doing a single thing, or planning your life so that you can get multiple needs met at once, to create a very rich life. And one ways that we do this, which I'm sure if you're listening to this, you also do this in your life, is going outside. Specifically, I think we're going to talk about hiking and, not necessarily going for a walk just around the block, kind of going outside. We're talking about going outside to a greener space, maybe like a dirt trail, and doing some form of hike versus, you know what I mean? Like that, to me, there's a distinction. I could go for a walk. I'm
like
going
a provincial
outside.
park versus, the dog park.
Yeah, or, even just going to Crown Land, like just a place that's a little bit more untouched, I guess. To give some context, I mean, the last 2 days, Jeff and I have been pretty much spending all day out with our family, with our 7-month-old baby and our dog, our Malinois dog named Fib. And this is after about, a few weeks of having very little sun and being, in a state of detoxing and just recovering and cleaning out our bodies after the long winter. And I'll speak for myself. Like this year, I got pretty sick, and I normally don't get sick often. So it was super humbling to just be clearing out, especially after the pregnancy and the birth. I feel like my body is just kind of ditching old gunk and just kind of restarting, and it feels really good to be on the other side of that. So one way that Jeff and I wanted to recharge our batteries is to just spend these last 2 days have been sunny and beautiful and warm. We're just spending as much time outside as we can. So yeah, how does going outside, what do we stack when we go outside with our family?
Well, I think what you're trying to get to is the benefits stack that you're going to experience from going outside. So not only are we getting exercise, we're clearing our minds, getting new ideas, we're talking, we're getting. So it's like almost, where do you start?
Yeah, there's fresh air. Let's list a few. We're getting fresh air.
Let's start from the top and work our way down.
Okay.
So we're clearing our minds. We're talking. We're using our eyes, and we're seeing green. We're seeing all these vibrant colors. We're seeing long distances. Yesterday we were seeing waterfalls and
red-tailed hawks today.
Yeah, we seen a turkey yesterday, and we're seeing a lot of distances. So our eyes are having to focus on far and near. So we're giving our eyes great exercise. There's all these fractal patterns, which science has shown is great for your eyes to see, the branches and the way they all just spread out like lightning.
Getting the full daylight in our vision. So from sunrise to sunset, letting your eyes pick up all those variations of light to regulate your hormones for your body to know exactly what time of the year it is.
The fresh air we were breathing.
Yeah.
Yesterday we were by a waterfall, several waterfalls, and you could feel the negative ions and like the mist in the air from the waterfall.
And then today our hike, had some good hills. So yeah, just like being a little bit out of breath and getting the heart going and pumping and flowing.
All the smells of like the essential oils coming off the trees and the stuff on the ground litter, ground cover. The sun was just hitting everything.
Specifically where we were hiking, we got the smell of white pine. And it was like last year's white pine branches, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. And then us also, when we're stepping, we're kind of breaking up plant matter because everything's so fresh. The snow just melted and it's just warm. It was, like
you could
just
smell
bathing
humus
in
the soil.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, there's so many awesome smells and scents that were just like, oh, it smells so good.
Listening to bird song, and also not listening, like there's a lot of noises that were gone, you know, that you're not hearing cars, there's no kind of white noise, background noise, very quiet.
Yeah.
Today where we went, we had this entire hike by ourselves. There was no one there, and you can feel the energy of not having the presence of humans around you. Also, where we were both days, yesterday and today, we were not in service. So, you know, to me, I'm someone, I feel that a lot. Like whenever we go to Crownland and we get out of these, you know, high EMF zones or whatever, high reception zones, I generally have this like sense of just like deeper calm or relaxation in my nervous system. And so a lot of the spots that we go to, we don't have service, which is really nice.
We got a lot of sun on our skin, which after the month of March and like purging and detoxing felt like, we kept saying battery recharge, and like just felt like our energy was being restocked after March. There was so few days where, you know, you expected at least a few sunny days to kind of recharge in March, and we really didn't get that. So getting all that sun on our skin the last few days felt great.
Also, you know, that sense of adventure. Yesterday, we kind of explored this new area that we had never been, and ended up finding a new hiking trail and also a potentially good swim spot for the summer. So we kind of, you know, went off our normal path, which was awesome to just, you know, explore. And that feeling of like, even today where we hiked, there's that sense of like, it's an adventure when you go out, hiking trails in the woods, you know, we're following.
Mentally stimulating.
Yeah, it's all new. Like last time we hiked this trail, which was my first time, I was, you know, probably 36 weeks pregnant or something like that.
It was like last summer.
Yeah, I was very pregnant. And so it felt really good to just revisit a spot.
Yeah, there's not a lot of new growth on the trees, so there's a ton of sun coming through.
And if you have kids or a dog, you know how tired everyone gets after days like this. Just
overstimulating almost everyone, kind of hitting their max.
Yeah.
Like we feel super relaxed now.
Yeah.
What else was it? Just a feeling, like being able to touch trees again, like not wearing mitts, so like we're touching the trees and branches, and
well, wearing less clothes for sure after the winter feels so good. So we just talked about a barefoot kind of our winter shoe, and this boot that Jeff and I wear, which is awesome for the winter. We love these boots, but they're so heavy that whenever it starts to get nice again, it's like freeing your feet. I don't know how much they weigh. Probably
2 or 3 pounds. If not
yeah,
more,
they're heavy. So you take those off and you start wearing your minimalist shoes, and you just feel lighter because, you know, you're not wearing your big jacket and your boots and stuff, and that feels really good.
Another one is just the wind in your face and your hair, and like yesterday we were near the waterfalls and catching the breeze.
Yeah.
And then today we're on the hike kind of ends on a small little lake that you hike around, and then you're on this little, I guess what you call it, like a pier. You're on this little island that stretches out on one side of the lake, and just sitting there and the air coming off the lake. Oh, it's just so nice.
Well, and then, I mean, every time of year you get to see new plants. So today, because of the time of year that we're at, we're seeing a lot. We're seeing two things. The old plant matter from last year. So we saw old reishi, Labrador tea, raven.
Yeah, raven.
Just saw raven. So, you know, Labrador tea, loose leaf. We saw winter greenberries, everything from last year. And then we're also seeing all the buds. Yeah.
Ferns, yeah, all the buds on the poplars, and also then like the grounding, being able to touch rocks and soil, and sit on the ground and not be cold.
Yeah.
You know, like the snow just left a couple weeks ago, and like if we drive an hour or two north of us, there's still snow on the ground. So it's like, oh, it's so nice to know that spring is here, and you know, not be wearing all the layers, being able to sit on the ground, being able to, you know, do all these things. There's no bugs out today, which is another huge blessing. Like, oh, that's so nice.
Yeah. And then also just like eating all of our meals outside. I mean, there's definitely like food, you could probably relate to this, food tastes better outside. I think most people are more relaxed when they're outside, so they eat more slowly. They're more in their body, so they eat more slowly. And then when you're doing, you know, today for me, this was like, I guess, this is kind of like my first bigger hike with the baby. And she's probably like, 25, 30 pounds right now, roughly, plus the pack. And we did a decent hike, and I was hungry, so the food was eating after something like that. It's a lot more rewarding than just, eating after sitting inside on a laptop all day. Even though work like that can also make you hungry, it's just a totally different experience. Digestion with walking, what that does.
All the benefits we mentioned for ourselves, like for the baby, she got to touch some tree branches and put her bare feet on the ground, and she got to see all the trees and the nature
and
the
exposing
smells.
Her skin to the sun.
Yeah.
All winter she was pretty much bundled, and
the dog got to run around like crazy. He gets all the smells and the stuff, and like just so many knock-on benefits, and like the cliche of forest bathing. It's like, there's so much going on there, and so much nuance happening while we're out there in the bush.
Yep. And I mean, we talk a lot about the primal pattern of walking, and this is where I think, at the beginning I started this talk with distinguishing, like, if you're walking around the block, you're probably on cement, it's probably mostly flat. That's very different than, the hikes that we were on where
you have to hold my hand sometimes to walk down, or we walk down on all fours, or maybe sometimes you crawl down on your butt, or like you're taking big steps up and like side steps, and you're doing so many more movements than you would just walking on the street.
Well, and yesterday we did a little jog when we went to the big water there. You're like changing your pace. You really have to, maybe you're ducking down, or I'm making sure the branches doesn't hit, like when the branches are close to the trail, making sure they're not hitting the baby. And, you're definitely more in your body. We had to go over some logs today on the trail. And
we've seen some reishi mushrooms and from last year, and seeing like, oh, look, this tree has mushrooms on it from last year, even though we've seen that a few times, and we grabbed reishi from that spot last year. It's just like tracking and discovering, oh, look, here's these mushrooms. If we were to come in a month or two, they'll be here, or next year they'll be here. All these different things.
And I think just the benefits of walking, like just the movement, the benefits of walking and that movement pattern.
Sorry, we had to pause that because there was a ride check coming out of Killarney, and the police had to ask if we had any drug alcohol, and we just had a crazy dog and a baby going nuts, so we're back.
And we were talking about walking. So I think just realizing that when we walk, I mean, the primal movement of walking, whether you're hiking or on flat surface, you're literally like massaging. I don't even know, you could maybe describe it better, but it's like you're moving your lymph in ways that is hard to do. You're moving blood in ways that is hard to do. I mean, mostly for digestion too is like so key.
Mm-hmm. Well, the bipedal movement of your quads, like, so walking does move your lymph fluid, which there's 8 times more lymph than there is blood. So that's vital that you move every day in those ways. So like things like squats and walking are super important but doing those deeper movements, like we're doing big lunges and essentially doing like box lunges on rocks, and then like step downs off of rocks, and we're sidestepping, and we're crawling on all fours. We're moving so many different movement patterns, and then you have the baby on your back and I have a backpack, so we're bracing our core. So we're not only getting a cardiovascular workout, we're also strength training and using our stabilizers, as well as moving our lymph with our legs as we're hiking up and downhill the whole time.
Yeah, and then I think maybe like one other thing I would say when we're planning our life or stacking our life, yesterday when we did our kind of adventure exploration, time outside, time by the water, all of that, we also did that in conjunction with a spring water run. So we were already heading in this direction. We also yesterday stopped at a kind of like a local Amish like market. So that was really nice to get some local food and good meats. And so this was all in the same area, so we kind of just pooled all of these things together. And then today, as we were on our adventure, we're trying to get the word out about the nonprofit and our local community, so we have these flyers. And so as we were doing our adventure, we were just flyering, that's probably not a word, flyering, but we were putting out flyers after and before our adventure. So yeah, and actually, here's another example. We're on our drive back home. This is when we're recording right now. And so, Jeff and I would be in the vehicle talking to each other anyways. So, we really want to be putting out some content for everyone and grow this podcast or whatever this, these recordings turn out to be. But this is ways that you can just essentially be really efficient with your time so that you can, just make your dreams happen. And yes, it requires some planning. It also requires just being adaptable. It requires thinking ahead. It requires good structures and foundation. And
when we're out there, we're looking, what birds do we see? We've seen a red-tailed hawk today. Yesterday, we seen a turkey. So all of a sudden, it's like, oh, wow, there wasn't turkey up here a few years ago. And so now we have the possibility of turkey hunting.
Yeah.
Now, we've seen grouse. Okay, we couldn't hunt in that area. It's a provincial park, but, we've seen a red-tailed hawk. Okay, cool. That gets us more experience with identifying red-tailed hawks. Oh, we've seen wintergreen berry. Not the berries, but we've seen the plant all over the place. Yeah. We've seen Labrador tea. So now we're almost like, I wouldn't say building the callus, but we're like exercising the muscle of oh, there's white pine. Oh, there's Labrador tea. Oh, look, there's reishi mushroom. Oh, look, there's that tree that I usually see this thing with. And we're just exercising that muscle and building an awareness of oh, what animal tracks do we see here? What animals are here right now at this time of the year that could signify something for us. And we're just, it stacks more and more and more things onto each other, where it's not just a simple walk in the woods. It could be oh, wow, maybe this is an area that we could involve a group of people with. If you see enough things and it's a diverse enough area, you could say, oh, you know what, maybe we'll run a day program here and have people come, we'll do plant ID.
Yeah, and it also, we get to go into kind of creative zones where, we were thinking about potentially doing it overnight with our family, in Killarney this year, and how to do that. How would we through hike with young kids, and our mind gets to go there. And
then we're also taking videos.
Yeah.
So for the nonprofit, for social media stuff, we're creating content.
And we're doing this, just by adding a few things, because we were already doing this before, It's not new for us, but now we're just kind of stacking things so we can build, again, our vision. And I think it's important to say too, you just brought up social media. It's yes, we're on social media. Yes, there is a tech side of running a business. And also, when Jeff and I step away from that to be in nature. And we do this frequently. Like, our phones are on airplane mode. We're very, very present when we're out doing what we love. And so, I think there's a piece where some people maybe struggle with that, where it's like they're out and they're still checking their phones. They're still trying to find reception. I mean, like I said earlier, a lot of places we go don't even have reception. But this idea that, like, we know when to kind of cut that. When we're, specifically, I would say, like, when we're doing something as a family and we're outside, it's like, yeah, they're very separate things. Even though we might be taking pictures and filming, that it's different. We're not, like, caught up on our phones.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think, like, we're also mirroring to Shazandra, like, what we want. Oh, there's a raven's nest.
Oh, yeah. Right on the bridge. With
a raven in it. That's the first for me. But yeah, so now we're mirroring the behavior and the, what does my family do? Well, now she sees, like, oh, this is what we do.
Yeah.
We're all there, we're all present, we're all hiking. Yeah, we're on our phone sometimes. Yeah, we're at home, but we're also doing this.
Yeah.
So now that's going to become part of her normal and what life is about for her.
Yeah, like, spending all day outside is not going to be, I think of her 2-3 years old. That's going to be, like, our lifestyle. There's nothing, it's not. I don't know. It's like you
that's
have to
not
force
a birthday.
it. It's like
it's not a birthday thing. Yeah, it's not.
It's like, no, this is what we do all the time.
Yeah.
Every day she's outside. Well, I think the first 3 days she was inside the house, and then on day 3, I think I remember I was still in bed at the time. And I remember telling Jeff, like, I really want her to be outside. And Jeff took her out for the first time. But ever since day 3 of her birth, she's been outside every single day. And we just went through, our winter. And she was very young. And that was really, really important for me.
Yeah, you went out every day near our home. In a little green space, like nothing major. Didn't have to go very far. We're pretty fortunate, but it's not like it's monumental. It's it's smaller than a soccer field.
Yeah, and, like, even I mentioned earlier, like, the walk around the block. Sometimes we do that. It's not my favorite walk by any means, but there's days where we might eat dinner and the sun's setting, and we're like, hey, let's just go for 5-10 minutes just around our neighborhood.
Good practice for the dog to see other dogs and not react. It's good practice for us to meet neighbors and
so
the baby to see other kids and other adults.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully that you get some insight there of how to stack your own life. So, taking a moment to be like, hey, what are the things I really value? How can I bring more of those things that I value into one experience, and then prioritize that so that you can get a lot of needs met doing a single thing. And it feels really good. You're efficient with your time. It allows you to achieve your goals, I would say, faster. And it's fun. You get to be creative of how you manage your own time.
Yeah, like, we didn't even forage anything. Like, there's not even much to forage yet. So it's like,
today,
we're coming into a, greener and greener spring. And as that approaches, there's more excuses than us just moving to be outside and get some sunshine. Then it's like, oh, like, there's food out there. There's resources. There's things that we can create out of what comes out of the ground or off of the trees. And then just more and more and more things stack on top of each other.
Yeah, thanks for listening.